What it do you too? You know what I'm saying? I know how they. I've been watching a whole bunch of the DMV, Philly, and Baltimore and shit. The way them niggas talk, bruh, cannot lie. That shit funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? What it do to like, bro? What? Hey, that's funny as hell. I ain't gonna. Nigga was like, niggas know that I do this. Like what? Like what the fuck? All right, let me get on topic, bro. All right, so today, oh, hope y'all doing well. Hope you take care of yourself. Today we gonna talk about something that I've been noticing on YouTube being talked about more, and that's black fatigue. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So for anybody who don't know what black fatigue is, it's basically, you know, people getting tired of like ratchet ghetto culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? People getting tired of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's a valid reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of black people, you know what I'm saying, they like to, they like to claim to be, most black people have pride in who we are. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know what's the point of having so much pride and being a degenerate. You know what I'm saying? Like being somebody who ain't like elevating like people's character and communities and stuff like this. Like, those degenerate ways like don't do nothing but cause chaos and separation. You know what I'm saying? So like people getting tired of it because it's oversaturated nowadays. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything in this world is supposed to have its rightful place to exist here. Otherwise it wouldn't be a thing. But, you know, in reality, when things get oversaturated, like a population of a certain animal get too big, you know what I'm saying? Something is introduced in the ecosystem to balance things out. You know what I'm saying? So like when it comes to black fatigue and people getting tired of like, you know, ratchetness and degeneracy, you know what I mean? Like we in a time right now where people is becoming more conscious and aware of the reality that we live in. So, by default, we gonna be able to move, create, and expand in more meaningful ways, in higher ways. You know what I'm saying? Like more elevated ways. You know what I mean? And in order for us to do that, like that shit gotta go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, everything serves a purpose. So like people who chose that lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like you do serve a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Cause most of what y'all immerse yourselves into is some type of militant, like conquering type of vibes. So like, when we create our communities and stuff, you know what I mean? Y'all niggas just, hold shit down. Like when we need some soldiers, you know what I mean? When we need some soldiers to really hold stuff down when shit get real. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, every male need to be able to do that. But like there's specific people like niggas who go to the military and stuff like that who can specialize in doing that fuckery. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like y'all niggas will serve the purpose, you know what I'm saying, in the context community wise when it come to us having some type of enforcement to keep things in order. You know what I mean? So like that's why them niggas walk that lifestyle. But like the type of stuff that's going on nowadays, bro, it's just like it ain't got so bad. people's family dynamic is so dysfunctional. You know what I mean? Like that every child that's growing up nowadays around all this stuff, like they growing up in the most degenerate ways. They growing up in the most like unguided ways. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when the child gotta grow up like that, they can have no morals. So when they do certain things, they don't see what's wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Well, you gotta remember the reason why stuff like this exists is to keep a balance, bro. It's to strike a balance so things can coexist in a way that's sustaining. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a lot of people need to be real with themselves about the type of lifestyles that they choose to walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about like the path that you take and where it leads you in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you traumatized and stuff about certain things that have happened in your life, you know what I mean? You got to look at yourself and tell yourself and be real with yourself and be like, one of the reasons why this happened was because I was so attached to this one thing. You know what I'm saying? And that one thing is what kept a connection to lead me on a path in the future to invite more of that stuff into my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know what I mean? This black fatigue stuff, it's all about maturing. Like, it's all about maturing, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because a lot of that degenerate stuff is childish. It's, you know, it's a lack of direction as like character building. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So now a lot of people that's like put on a pedestal for the influence like a whole generation. Like, these people are not people that I would consider individuals that need to be like, you know, set as an example for someone of great character to lead and like, you know, inspire. You know what I mean? Like, instead of having kids that like invent and create stuff that actually help not only black people but human beings in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of what I see is a whole bunch of degeneracy. You know what I'm saying? That's mostly what I see. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who doing some stuff that's the opposite of that, like, it's always like beneath the surface. It's never something that's like, you know, put on the forefront. You know what I mean? And then when it is, you know, a lot of people don't even acknowledge it for what it is. So like, you know, me personally, I'm tired of the, you know what I mean, the ratchet like lostness, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a futurist, bro. Like, the way I look at life, like, as far as like how aware and what I know, like, we could be in a way better position as a people, as a species on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But people so focused on stupid materialistic stuff that's temporary, that don't matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? People way too focused on those things, bro. You know what I mean? You should just be focusing on how to make your life, like, how to improve your life, you know what I mean, as an individual. And then how you carry yourself will naturally inspire others to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Simple stuff. It don't have to be like, oh, I got a fucking Mercedes Benz and, you know, big ass mansion or something. Like, it don't have to be stuff like that. It could just simply be you have a garden. You know what I'm saying? It could be simply like, um, you know, I I I promote people taking care of themselves. Like, you know, I'm a fitness instructor. Like stuff like that, simple stuff that help people fix their well-being. You know what I mean? Because if they can maintain that, then when they come to creating stuff that ain't full of chaos, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be coming from a different place, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people are very dysfunctional, have a bunch of mental problems, and it's just because of the larger games that's being played, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But even aside from all that shit, niggas still find a way to be, you know, the people, be the ones that people want to like be like. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And since we aware that, like, you know, like I said, on the surface, all I see is a bunch of degeneracy. You know what I'm saying? All that's put on the pedestal is a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the music, culture, what's popular nowadays, like, you know, as far as what people decide to watch. And when I say people, I mean kids. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's gonna be the next generation that become adults and create more fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of like everybody wanting to be the goddamn entertainer. You know what I'm saying? To distract people from their life. You know what I'm saying? Some people need to just, you know, make stuff, be creative, like in a productive way. You know what I'm saying? In a way that inspires other people to be productive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have to go to school to do stuff like that. You can learn all this stuff by yourself, because we got the internet, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can learn all this stuff. It's about focusing, though. You know what I mean? Most people focus on bullshit, distractions, nothing that adds to like us evolving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's just a bunch of what they call it. They call it meat eating. It's a bunch of like people just riding each other's stuff. You know what I mean? Based off of their charisma or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it needs to translate to something deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, that charisma, like I said, ain't nothing but a distraction, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love comedy. Who don't want to laugh? But like, you know, in a lot of ways, it's used in a way that's not like healthy. You know what I'm saying? Because you masking pain. You know what I mean? Which is a form of escapism. So you're not being real with the reality of things. You know what I'm saying? And that leads to people not taking shit serious enough to, you know, create some type of progression, bro. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm cool on the ghetto culture, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's, you know, we need to move on from this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially with my channel, bro. Like, with all that I teach, it's to open up your mind so you can be creative and learn how to make stuff that we were supposed to been on a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I said, nature is the original technology, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nature, organic nature, bro. Every form of technology is here, like, that's made is to mimic nature and replace it. You know what I'm saying? So we need to wise up and like, instead of replacing stuff, like I said, like nature, what it does, it harmonizes things. Like, you know what I mean? It creates homeostasis. You know what I'm saying? So like, we need to do the same with our technology. Like, it needs to be something that like is reciprocal with nature, that works with nature. So it can all exist. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't get what's so hard about that. You know what I'm saying? But you got people with nefarious intentions in this world, and you know, them amount of motherfuckers are oversaturated. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but we in the times right now where all that shit is changing. You know what I'm saying? Age of Aquarius type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, things are changing, and it's only the beginning. But like, I'm specifically making this video to inspire people to do better, man. Just do better. You know what I mean? Which means separating yourself away from chaotic lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? Temporary lifestyles that don't mean nothing, have no substance, don't add nothing to nobody's character, but making them a degenerate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to move past this stuff, bro. You know what I mean? You got people that like, turning plastic into gasoline. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm correct, if I heard correct, like, apparently somebody else already did that, but it's just the fact that this nigga even doing it. Like, that's type of stuff that I feel like everybody should know how to do. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because knowledge is power, bro. You know what I'm saying? The more you know, the more you are capable to create, like reality wise as a whole, like community, all of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on now. People need to get a grip, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of the ghetto stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Apparently it came from, like, it originally came from white folks, but like, we need to separate that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, people would like to have a lot of pride being black. You know what I mean? I look at all y'all niggas the same. Like, y'all just humans, like, that have desires. And, y'all just human, bro. You know what I mean? The only difference is skin color. You know what I mean? But we all got a spirit inside of us. Not all of us. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? Hey, I think this is good, bro. You know what I mean? Quick little video on black fatigue. Peace, YouTube.